Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to another breakdown episode. We're going to be looking at Larry Wheels once again today. Now, he's taking on, let me get the name right, Maxim Bitarov of Russia. He's a two-time WAF champion. I think he's a six-time Russian champion from what I heard in the intro. We'll go through it very shortly. But the reason we're doing this breakdown today is because Larry Wheels is a truly interesting gentleman. In the world of arm wrestling, he's probably one of the most prominent people. Thanks to all of the momentum he's brought to the sport with his social media and his powerlifting background and just all things strength, Larry's truly interesting. And I personally have taken a very keen interest. I'm helping Larry quite often in his coaching and all that sort of stuff with his refinement. And we're seeing very significant development. And I'm super curious after his most recent super match only a couple of days ago with Mate Irarangi of Heta Morris of New Zealand. We saw really significant improvements in Larry. And so I want to see how he goes now because he's up against a lightweight guy who's a WAF champion. And when you think lightweight guys and WAF champions, you think highly technical, highly explosive, really wizards of arm wrestling. So I'm really curious to see how Larry goes and what he brings to the table. So that's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to break it down. We're going to watch. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to go through it completely. I haven't watched the video in its entirety yet. I've seen a little bit of it, but we're going to go through it completely. I'm going to watch it. We're going to break it down. We're going to go through slow-mos. We're going to see whatever we see as we go. And of course, guys, please go and support Larry Wheels' channel and the original video. Also, you can probably find Maxim Bitarov and all that sort of stuff on Instagram. Go check him out. But let's get into it now. The video is titled 19-Year-Old Giant Slayer, so he's young too. Akimbo 69, I think, is where you can find Maxim if you're looking up his social medias. But anyway, let's get into it now. Let's bring up Larry. All right, here we go.
Okay. Ready, go. Whoa. Ready, go. Ready, go.
Schoolboy, давай сделаем это, давай поборемся. Я готов, а ты?
He said that he's ready.
Schoolboy. He's waiting for you.
I think he's ready. I'd say he's ready.
He said
All right.
he's ready.
There we go. You can see straight away that Maxim, he's calling out Schoolboy. So obviously, he being from Russia, he's got his eyes on Schoolboy. Probably wants to climb that ladder of notoriety somewhat. So pretty cool. But anyway, let's keep going. Gotta love Larry's intro.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here I am with Maxim and Nikita.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Okay, so Maxim is here on vacation, but thanks to Sarichev, Krill, we were notified that he is in Dubai, and we couldn't resist the opportunity to arm wrestle him. Because we've seen the videos with Krill, and he was giving Krill a really hard time. It seems like he was pinning Krill as well, and I pulled Krill. I know how strong Krill is. He's 19 years old, if you can believe it or not. He is 73 kg, nearly half my body weight, and he is a world champion, I believe.
He one-time world champion on the right hand. He's Euro champion. Oh, 2 times world champion on the right hand. Once champion of Europe on right hand, and 6-time six-time champion of Russia by both hands. You know, that's right. 19 years old, 73 kilogram. Our future, you know, our future.
Absolutely. There's so many great things that life has in store for him, getting a head start on the sport, 8 years of training already in. And I'm 2 days after pulling Mate, but again, since they're
Interesting, he said he's 8 years into the sport. He's only 19 years old, so he's been doing this since he's 11, which makes you realize straight away that he's going to be designed for arm wrestling. If we think of people like John Brzenk, that's where we think of young teenagers becoming elite arm wrestlers. When you're going through that growth phase where you are full of growth hormone and you just go through puberty and all those sorts of things, I feel like if you direct your body towards a certain degree of strength and conditioning during that time, you become something special. So that's the case here with Maxim. He's been arm wrestling since he was 11. Okay.
They're here unplanned. I came with the opportunity. I'm going to pull him, both arms, right and left. Which arm is the better arm?
Какая рука у тебя лучше?
Left
hand.
Left hand? Okay.
Left hand is better.
So I've been told my left hand is better as well, but usually I'm facing people who are better right-handed. So they face my left hand when I train both equally. Not many arm wrestlers train both arms. Usually they pick a dominant arm and they stick with that.
Ты говоришь, не так много людей, которые типа тренируют прям обе руки, что есть люди, либо у которых правая рука, ну типа больше идет, либо левая. Поэтому он старается тренировать обе.
Okay. So look, I've said enough. I want to get to pulling. I'm super pumped to pull him. Don't let his looks fool you, by the way. He looks slim, but these things are packed full of power. Okay, and I'm going to feel that in just a moment. Let's get to it.
All right, we can see the stats here for each of these guys. Larry Wheels on the left, 27 years of age, 6'1", 266 pounds, 21-inch biceps, 17-inch forearms, 2.5 years experience in arm wrestling, of course, coming from the background of powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, and now arm wrestler. Maxim, only 19, as we said, 5'11", so he's not a particularly tall guy. So when we think about the leverage of Maxim, will that mean he's an inside puller? We'll find out shortly. Biceps, 17-inch biceps, so solid biceps going on there for someone at that weight. 16-inch forearm, the magic number, 16-inch forearm is kind of like the, I've heard Devin Larratt talk about it before, that 16-inch forearm is kind of like that gateway number to the top tiers of arm wrestling, regardless of weight category. Even the lightweight world champs, 16-inch forearm. So there you have it. And as we said before, 8 years experience from 11 years old.
Okay, good. You guys are set there. Chris is already there. Okay. Ready, go.
All right, so straight away, let's have a look at that slip and Larry's setup. We're going to focus this on Larry, okay? I know Maxim, we know he can arm wrestle, but if we focus on Larry in terms of the style, we can see straight away, look at this setup there. You've got the high knuckles from both guys, so they're both looking for the outside control, the top of the hill control, which is, of course, the thing that is going to dictate so much of what allows either arm wrestler to control which lane the match ends up in. Who controls the high ground controls the vast majority of technique options. So both the guys are going for it outside of straps. No one really holds on. If we go through in slow motion, oh, there you go. In slow motion, you can see that it was Maxim. If I go back a touch, you'll see Maxim does hold on a touch more than Larry. Larry is knuckles high. He's just trusting the back pressure and his wrist rise. Maxim actually drags a little with his fingers, which means that he was flirting with the idea of pinning outside of straps, but Larry's bicep probably scaring him, so he pronates a little as well, and they get the slip. Let's keep going.
Whoa! Holy shit! Now I didn't show knuckles, so I could have done that, but we didn't. We just went for it. Right. But next one, I'll make sure knuckles. Okay.
Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen here, but let's have a look at the straps. Straight away, you can see that the match is certainly on the side of Maxim's table, also on the side of Maxim's half of the table. You can see that Larry is looking to get knuckles up. You can see Maxim looks comfortable. To me, that is usually an indicator straight away that Maxim strapped better. Maxim looks incredibly comfortable. Larry looks like he's reaching to try to find comfort. Larry potentially has achieved the skin contact in the hand that he wanted, but he can't settle at center without losing it. So, again, indicator of experience, indicator of Maxim strapping really well.
Let's bring this down.
Okay, now we see a change. You see that Larry was unable to maintain the position he wanted, and he's now gone to a low hand top roll. This is really cool. I like seeing this. This is Larry experimenting. Maxim high ground is his now. It's established. I haven't seen Larry do this before, not in an official match, to attempt a low hand top roll. It'll be very interesting to see. So from here, Larry's going to need to He's the man with a longer arm potentially, but you still see he hasn't got center. He's going to need to drag with his fingers and pronate, keep the pronate static high, and attempt to separate the bicep and open up the potential lane for side pressure against Maxim. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Ready, go.
Oh. Okay, so clinical stuff there from Maxim. Let's go back and have a look at it. We'll go through each micro movement as it happens. I saw a couple of things. Maxim actually, I think he kind of loaded just prior to the go. Let me see, make sure I get it.
Okay. Ready.
Okay, so I think we'll see it. You look for Maxim to actually retreat a little just before the go. It's like compressing that spring just so he can return to where the strap wants to be. And that is a strategy that we talk about, or that Travis Bajan talks about a lot. The strap will always have its neutral point, its balance point, right? The strap will always be, and what I mean by that is the place where you naturally want to just be relative to your opponent. Now, you can always pull into the strap. You can always load into the strap. Now, when you load negatively into the strap like that, it actually gives you a little bit of return where you can gain some inertia. And as we know, something that hits you out of the blue, it doesn't need to be that powerful. It'll knock you off center. So that little retraction I see from Maxim was used very effectively. So here we go. And let me go back. Sorry. I was looking for that retraction. I missed it. Anyway, here he goes. There's the retraction. He's loaded his wrist back a little. And good initiation from Maxim. He's just got a touch of wrist flexion. Straight away you can see, look at that. So the wrist flexion from Maxim, and then there's this little lat drag, this down pressure that comes through the connected chain. His fingers are secure over the pronation of Larry, and that allows drag right there. Opens up the bicep of Larry. You can see straight away Maxim's angle through his bicep is locked solid. The drag is opening up Larry. The pronator of Maxim is now keeping the hand flat of Larry. Larry's scrambling at the moment to get traction in this match. He's got a little bit of traction there now. Maxim now at the back of the pad, so he can't drag any further, which gives the opportunity for Larry to use his bicep. But he is very open. Maxim's in a great position for very efficient side pressure. And here comes that side pressure now. The wrist is still flat of Larry's, and he concedes. There we go. 1-0.
Winner. Nice one. Winner. Okay. Knuckles. Both we come down.
Okay, looks like Larry and Maxim are both going to go for the same high setup once again. Let's see how it plays out.
Let me see the knuckles, guys. Knuckles. Ready, go.
Oh, that one happened fast. I couldn't quite even see what happened in the hands, but let's slow it down. And I think we'll see that Maxim, once again, dumps his wrist slightly. So here we go. Yeah, Maxim dumps his wrist, doesn't try to hold on, but you can see the speed of his execution. He dumps his wrist and pronates hard and side pressure, back pressure at the same time. It all happens so quickly that Larry has barely even reacted. But Larry's bicep strength and wrist strength is sufficient that Maxim doesn't hold on, and the slip happens. Okay, in the strap, once again, Larry has gone high. Maxim's gone high. This time, Larry looks like he's staying with his hand. He's given up on the low hand option. Let's see how it plays out.
Do the same, explode.
Okay.
Explode with.
Ready, go.
Boom, explode.
Come on, Larry.
Explode, explode.
Go backwards.
Hold. Hold.
Okay, way better from Larry. Let's go back and have a look at that. Maxim getting that pin there. But way better, a big improvement. This time, as we said, Larry, if we go back to the start. Come on, let's go back to the start. We go. Okay, so from the start, you'll see that Larry maintains the high knuckle position this time. He abandons the low hand top roll, trusts his wrist rise, and trusts his bicep and his wrist flexion. You'll see that Maxim has engaged that drag again that worked very effectively in the opening one, but this time it doesn't affect the bicep as much on Larry, and therefore the side pressure isn't available like it was for Maxim in round number 1. Now, as you can see here, Maxim starts to lean gently into his pronation. He's just filling the gap. As Larry looks for options, he kind of is retreating, trying to curl his wrist, and Maxim is just filling that space as Larry tries to curl. He's not allowing Larry to actually get underneath the pronator and around the pronator, and he's just patiently maintaining a static pressure. There is a little bit, that elbow foul. I did catch Adam talking about it. That might be an elbow foul there. It's a small one, but it probably is an elbow foul. But back to the arm wrestling, you can see Larry, he's still very much working on trying to bend his wrist, trying to get that wrist flexion in. But you can see by the if we were to draw a line on the angles of the bones there, because it's not quite at 90 degrees. I mean, a wrist flexion is always best against pronator when it's at its 90 degrees to the twisting motion of your opponent. You can see because the low drag has happened and there's chop engaged from Maxim, that the wrist flexion of Larry doesn't perfectly hit that 90 degrees, and subsequently it's not as effective as it could be. So that's good defensive blocking through the strap and that static connected position from Maxim. Now we continue on. Larry still persisting, it looks like, with that attempt to get wrist flexion in now. We can see the elbow positioning of Maxim. He is low on the pad and right on the pad. He's starting to statically just overwhelm and turn the palm of Larry underneath. Maxim isn't able to wrist curl and turn Larry down, but he's using his frame and his static side pressure to achieve the same result. All the same time, Maxim back pressure to keep the flat hand, or keep the hand of Larry flat, again, preventing Larry from getting the wrist curl in and getting on the bicep that he has as an asset. Now, Larry here, I've talked with Larry, there would be the temptation to try to pronate through the thumb, but Larry has been blocked there, so that he is incredibly open and he's really left exposed with just his bicep. Now, most people in this position would not be able to hold someone of Maxim's caliber, but Larry does have an extraordinary amount of bicep pressure, so Maxim's still being cautious and not coming forward onto the arm of Larry, staying well and truly in the hand, keeping his back pressure on and the side pressure static, and it looks like, there we go, there's the concession from Larry, eventually burning out with the hand being flat and the arm being so open, but looks like Adam may call elbow foul. Let's see how it plays out.
Elbow, was that elbow? Hey, Tim, you're supposed to watch that elbow. I couldn't tell. But it looked like his elbow was off.
Naughty boy, Tim.
Yeah. Nah. All right, we'll let it go. Yeah. Let it go? Yeah, you gotta watch that elbow. So it looked like it was off the table, but I couldn't tell.
Ты не видел, со стола локоть ушел?
Я не видел, нет.
Макс ушел со стола локоть? Макс said it?
No, it looked like just the...
I think it was an elbow foul. It was very small, but I think it was. I'm on your side, Adam. It's
I
okay.
needed him to tell.
Okay, round number 3. It's 2-0 to Maxim.
Ready to go?
All right, much of the same. Let's have a look at it, though. You can see that still Maxim not brave enough to hold on and try to pin. The bicep is still there from Larry, but you can see now the wrist of Larry. Look, if you look at that position right there, if Maxim was brave and if Maxim wasn't as intimidated by the bicep of Larry as he is, he could pin Larry right there. He's got all the hand and wrist control that he needs in the world, and Larry is open and exposed. If Maxim just went bang sideways from there, he would get the pin, and there'd be no slip for Larry because he's still stuck in the hand of Maxim. But you see the back pressure stays on. Larry, it's a messy slip. There's a little bit of an elbow foul there, but yeah, the hand position's all right. The pronated hand from Larry, so off we go to the strap. Maxim hits the table there with his hand on the slip. High pressure stuff. Okay, let's have a go.
Okay. Wrist.
What is Adam doing? All Yeah, all right. Strategy change here. You can see that Larry is bringing his shoulder forward. Okay, he's tried the last 2 rounds with rising back pressure. This time, Larry's going into a hook by the looks of it here, or he's going to at least attempt it. He's brought the shoulder forward. His wrist is up. He wants to cut the pronator of Maxim off. And get it on the bicep. And that's a good move given the first 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds, he really tried with the rising pressure. He didn't have the hand and wrist to hang with Maxim, and he got opened and exposed because of it. So now let's see how this attempted hook's going to go.
Want to try referee's grip? This is good. Okay. Wrist. Ready, go.
Better. Here we go.
Come on, Larry. Yep. Winner.
All right, we got winner but foul, I think. Okay, let's go back and have a look at that because that was much better from Larry there. Good adjustments. That's really intelligent arm wrestling based on the balance of power that he'd felt so far. And this is why I'm liking where Larry's going at the sport, because he's becoming intuitive and alive. So, as we said, we talked about the setup. His shoulder is forward. He's no longer rising in his back pressure. He's just maintaining static strength, and he's just looking to supinate and wrist curl and contain the pronation and back pressure of his opponent here. So let's see, off the go. Let's see, Maxim tries with his standard top roll. Here it comes. Okay, so wrist flexion from Maxim and the attempted back pressure, but you can see with Larry staying at the front and just supinating. So Larry has donated his pronation this time. As Devin Larratt would say, don't never fight a losing battle. Larry's identified that the losing battle was to try to keep his pronation high. So he's now not fighting that battle anymore. He's just giving it and trading that for wrist flexion. And you can see his wrist is curled in this time. And straight away you can see that stops Maxim. Maxim's pronation is limited, and the difference being now, Maxim doesn't have sufficient side pressure to get through Larry. Even though Larry elbow fouled, I think I missed it. I wasn't watching. Maybe it's coming up. There it is. He pops off the side, but curls it in. And then you can see, even though Larry was more open than Maxim, the superior bicep strength of Larry is now in play. And here it comes. I felt it before. It is brutal. Once Larry's here, he is very strong. Rotation comes through and Larry gets the pin, but we were on an elbow foul, so we'll go again.
Winner. Nice. Foul. Okay. Was it a foul?
Yeah. Elbow came
okay. Elbow. Okay. Restart. Restart. No win.
Maxim looks like he's pumped.
Yeah. He wants to know if we'll make something like that.
Yeah. We can do something else.
Unless you want to. Turn out. Wrist. Wrist.
Sorry, Adam, I got to pick on you a little bit. Adam's got a bit of the favoritism going on. He's definitely rousing on Maxim for any risk, but Larry's getting away with some nice carve going on. But love you, Adam.
Yeah, he needs to settle down. Yeah.
I think Larry's probably over his knuckle too, but who knows?
Too much back pressure. Wrist. Ready, go. Foul. And he had a foul over here, but
awkward, Adam, but all good. So foul there from Maxim, but again, good execution. Larry now looking like he's in control of this strategy, and he's found the lane. He's limited Maxim. If this was a running foul, this one would have been over because Larry, I believe, did keep his elbow on the pad. So here we are again. Let's have a look at it as it starts. Once again, it was shoulder forward from Larry. Wrist is up from Maxim. He's still persisting with that same style, high posted top roll. He then drops into that drag, but the pronation of Maxim is fully contained by the supinated and wrist flexion of Larry. And you can see Larry's now confident. He drives with rotation, but Maxim is able to drag, and his chop defends it. But Larry, being patient, just knows that if he gets this defensive position here, that the pronation of Maxim will start to gas. Second surge, you can see there, too much rotation and bicep strength from Larry, and rolls him through. But there was apparently an elbow foul, and Larry's buddy Adam is his own worst enemy. Could have just let it go, Adam. Could have just let it
Get
go.
the foul over here, bud.
Running fouls, don't we? Who wants running fouls, me?
Yeah.
Restart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're going to make him do it again.
If you had him further down and he fouled in the losing position.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Referee's good. Referee's good. Okay.
Still
Referee
just
good.
2-0.
Понял, да? Судейский?
Hand.
Судейский нахват, да. Окей.
Okay. All right. Yeah, right. That's why it's good. Okay. Close your thumbs. Close your thumbs. I'm gonna do yours first. Okay. Do you want to cap it? Okay. Cap. Wrist.
Sorry, there's the playful favoritism again. Maxim pointing out the carve and the wrist flexion on Larry slightly, and he's getting in trouble for talking to the ref.
Close your thumb.
Oh, goodness me.
I'm gonna close his first.
All in good fun.
Close yours. Okay. Ready, go.
I think
Hold, don't give up. Come on. Yes.
There you go. Winner.
All right, good match, and actually good. We saw good adjustments there from Maxim, or a couple of attempted adjustments. I'll talk you through it as we go through it in slow mo. But Larry getting the victory there, looking like he's on the board. It took him 3 pins to get the one officially, but you can see, okay, off the go. So Larry's just returning to that same lane that has worked the last 2 starts. Maxim looks as though he's doing the same thing, but what he does is changes his body angle. So the initiation happens, and Maxim stays a little higher, a little longer. He doesn't go on the offense. He allows Larry to try to dictate. And then when Maxim does surge, watch his elbow position. You'll see, here it comes. It's going to shift. There it is. It shifts to the massive elbow. Oh, no, sorry. I thought it was an elbow foul, but I'm looking at the pin pad. My bad. Keep going, Maxim. You'll see that Maxim gets on the inside of his elbow, and he would be low and right. So he is, rather than being on the left of the pad in an offensive sense, he's gone to the low right side. That's changed the angle of his force, or vector, as Todd Hutchins would have it. And that has changed the shape of the rotation arc for Larry, which has just thrown Larry a little spanner, but Larry's still resilient enough and strong enough to roll through and get the victory. Well done.
Winner.
Я сейчас сделаю.
Winner.
Еще раз?
Make sure his wrist is good. Is his wrist good?
Yeah, his wrist is straight.
Ready, go.
Oh, okay. So if that was WAF, I suspect it might have been a victory. This is what we were talking about last round, where Maxim has the dominance in the wrist outside of the straps. You'll see it here. He's got the high position, Larry gripping low. Larry no longer fighting for that height outside of straps is probably a suggestion that Larry's hand was starting to get tired, and he just thought he'd get the slip for free. You see off the go there, Maxim, all the hand control in the world, and Larry looking to slip, and Maxim, knowing that that's coming, he stays at the front of the pad and just drives sideways. Now, if we look at this technically, this I'm sure is going to be a loss. Yeah, look, that's a pin. It's probably a pin if we get the cameras out there. It's certainly a low slip. Like if that was WAF, it's 100% a loss. But for the sake of experience, let's keep going. Yep, and there it is, strap. Okay, here we go. Round number 4.
Ready, go.
Oh, nice adjustments there from Maxim. Once again, let's have a look. You can see a little bit of surprise on Maxim's face. He went through Larry easier, and I think that's because Larry is getting tired. High knuckle position from Maxim is dominant. This time you watch Maxim stay at the front of the pad, and he's staying at the front of the pad because he can sense the blood in the water that the hand and wrist of Larry is becoming tired. So he stays at the front and just really, when I say he stays at the front, his energy stays high and forward. And he cups through his index finger and thumb before dragging back. That's the difference in the energy here. So there goes the cup through the index finger and thumb. It aggressively turns the palm of Larry underneath. You can see he's far more supinated than he has in the last few rounds. And he drives straight away sideways with a nice twisting. And because he's so high in the hand of Larry, the bicep has been avoided. And this time it's just a twisting nature. Potentially a little elbow foul there from Maxim off the back of the pad, but I think it wouldn't have mattered. 3-1.
That was fast. Yeah, that was fast. Yeah. All right.
That's it.
3-1. Yeah. Really good match. We'll go lefty next.
Yeah.
Take a break.
It's just that because of the lifting, you have a crazy strong grip and also back pressure.
Yeah, for sure. But left-handed, I'm very interested because my left is fresh. I haven't had any match with my left in a long time. And I've been training it, so I'm very curious to see. And you said his left is better on.
Он говорит, что ему очень интересно побороться с тобой на левую, потому что он свежий на левой.
So, actually, Larry, for a second, why don't we go over what you just discussed with him? So, why do you think that Maxim was able to take you?
Well, he beat me in all the fundamental strength from A to Z, rise, coordination, back pressure, just in the setup. I mean, if you have enough experience, you'll know if you're fighting a losing battle. And I knew straight away from the back pressure that I was trying to win my side of the table with bicep and pose a threat. But he was dominating all the fundamental strength. I tried side pressure, I couldn't budge him. I tried back pressure, couldn't budge him.
Interesting that Larry says that he couldn't beat him on back pressure. What I saw was actually the wrist. I'm certain that Larry's bicep itself is better than Maxim's, but what happened was that every time Larry, and if we remember round one where Larry scooped forward and got that contact, it was on Maxim's side of the table. The difference is Maxim's wrist rise is better, not the bicep.
So what do you do in that case? You lose. There's nothing to do. Yeah. All the fundamental strength I was being in. But again, I came into this sore 2 days post supermatch with Mate. My left, I think, will be more accurate representation where I'm at with him because his left is his better arm, and both left arms are fresh. So I'm interested to see if the result will be the exact same, or I'll get the upper hand. Yeah, let's see.
It was interesting to see.
What I'd like to say is I think that he did a fantastic job. Larry adapted to the conditions very quickly. He recognized the losing battle up top, and he traded his pronation for wrist flexion and found that alternative lane. And look, almost had success. He actually did physically pin Maxim 3 times, but due to fouls and restarts, he wore himself out. Under different circumstances, I think Larry would get the win.
Also, you weren't able to pull him back, even though there were fouls, unfortunately, that kind of screwed up those wins. That was good to see you be able to do that.
It's cool, but I don't like to win that way because I feel like it's just a sloppy way to win. It's just using brute strength. Right. You're not winning with fundamental strength. You're just using your bicep and dragging them over. So that's not going to make me a better arm wrestler. So even though I do have those 2 wins, they're not satisfying. I didn't beat him in any of the fundamental strength. And I was definitely not necessarily slower. There was a couple pulls I think we were neck and neck. So nice to know that I can be explosive and quick, and the reaction time is actually not too bad.
Did you feel better in the referee's room?
In the referee?
He couldn't use back pressure.
Yeah, exactly. I felt for sure a bit better, 100%. That back pressure, his bicep strength, that back pressure
crazy.
Is really posing a serious threat.
No, Larry, it wasn't his bicep. It was his wrist. Your bicep's better, Larry, I promise you. It is. It's way better. It was his wrist. Every time you tried to use your bicep, your wrist couldn't come with you, and he just held high ground because his wrist stayed solid. So it wasn't his bicep, brother.
Skinny, amazing strength, right?
Yeah, so amazing. Very, very impressive. Anyways, let's see what happens left-handed.
Okay. Wrist.
Okay, left, here we go.
Ready, go.
All right, there's the slip. Both guys going for high ground again. Let's have a quick look at it in slow motion. Let's see who wins the knuckles, because this is what happened on right. Oh, it's Maxim. Maxim with that high wrist dominance again. Let's see. Will the match go the same way? No idea. Okay, so before the go, you can see that this does look similar to the early rounds of the right arm match. You can see Larry is going high, but Maxim has the wrist dominance. Only slightly. Larry's not in a complete low hand top roll, but Larry is a slightly lower hand position. Maxim, similar shape as he did on the right. Larry has declared he's fresh here. Larry's fluidity on a low hand top roll, I haven't yet seen it in a nice sense, so I don't know that he has that movement yet, but I love that he's looking for it. Let's see how it goes.
Knuckles. Ready, go.
Oh, beautiful, Larry. Yes. That's so good. Oh, I didn't know Larry could do that. I love it. Okay, so, all right, let's have a look at it. Off the go, Maxim was feeling good. He had the high knuckles. There's the go. Maxim goes to do his thing, but Larry's bicep and Larry's connection through the strap is sufficient, and it stops Maxim in his track. Larry... I love it, Larry. Larry, you've been listening. What we were talking about. I love it. Okay, so I got to go back again. So watch here. You'll see that the side pressure from Maxim, it crashes into the connection of the pronator and the back pressure. And it doesn't matter that Larry's wrist slightly opens up. Maxim bounces back off that stop. Larry curls his wrist, adds pronation beautifully, back pressure, and then the side. It's all easy money from there. 1-0. Larry, beautiful. Well done.
His back pressure is ridiculous.
Is it? Yeah. He's saying his back pressure is ridiculous.
When he posts, I feel like I have no chance. There's so much pressure coming on his side that I think you have to have stronger biceps. I don't know what's stronger.
It's wrist, Larry. It's wrist.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Round 2.
Ready, go.
Oh, you can see Maxim's firing up now. He wants this win. You can see the speed and the energy. And the energy is, well, how about that? The energy and the energy. It's gone up. Maxim exploding aggressively out of straps, pops the wrist, gets the height and control, but Larry's bicep sufficient to get the straps. Now, this is the strategy. Maxim knows that he has wrist dominance, so he's putting bullets in. He needs to fatigue Larry enough that when he gets the straps, he can not have what happened in round 1. He needs to do what he did in round 5. So he's trying to put work now into Larry aggressively. Table rocking around. Okay, here we go. Straps.
Is that still tight enough? Ready, go.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The aggression from Maxim is there, but Larry handling it well. These guys are getting into it. I got to show you what happened here because this is kind of cool. So Maxim initiates aggressively. You can see first the move. He's got good static strength. But once again, similar to round 1, the bicep strength of Larry, he stays tall, his pronation stays rock solid, and his fingers are good. Maxim bounces off that stop. Larry curls, but what Maxim does this time is he's ready for it. He maintains the high ground, and he is in a superior position. If we were to analyze this as a hook position right now, on a technical level, Maxim is in a better position. The bicep angle is tight, slightly tighter than Larry's, even though Larry's is still pretty good. The rotation blocking ability from this in a technical standpoint, Maxim's in a great position. But this is Larry's domain, hook stuff, his bicep. Look at the peaks of Larry's bicep there, by the way. What on earth is that? Anyway, Larry's so strong, just pulls straight through, rips him off the table, goes flying as Maxim's all coiled up around the table, standing on the legs of the table itself, all braced defensively. Not enough. 2-0. Larry on fire.
Wrist. Okay, ready, go.
Again, I love the energy. Maxim's not giving up in this fight. He wants it. He believes he can still get it outside of straps. Larry dropping the hand height. Smart move from Larry because he knows that when Larry goes up, he's unable to hang with him. So this is actually conserving energy for Larry, and this is a good position. If we look at the finger placement there of Maxim, the pinky finger is above the wrist joint. Most importantly, that is a critical thing. If you're looking for a slip in Larry's position, he can relax his wrist, use his bicep strength, trust his pronation, and even though he's the second to move, he gets the legal slip. Okay, round 3.
Side to side. Wrist. Okay. Ready, go.
Oh, I love it. Love it. This is that's great. That's great arm wrestling all round. I really like that. Great technical arm wrestling from both guys, to be honest. Good resilience from Maxim and great finishing and intuition from Larry. So off the start, Larry's got the low hand position. Maxim's got the high knuckle dominance, but Larry's okay with that. Maxim first to initiate, as he's done in all of the instances so far. Maxim no longer trying to hook. He's going for the high defensive posting style top roll. He gets on his tricep. Both guys climbing, looking for height. It's a bicep situation right here now, and connection to the strap, critical. Larry, beautiful low hand position. And the defense of Maxim, even though his wrist is being taken, he stays connected to the strap and he fights hard. Look at this connection. That's very Cobra Rhodes there. Super advanced technique there from Maxim in that defense. Very, very difficult to execute without high levels of experience, but he is still, the reason he is still in that match is he is fully connected to the strap still through his pronator and his bicep. And Larry, and it's all about the wrist right now. Both guys fighting for life with their wrist. It's Larry's bicep. Now, that's not an elbow foul from Larry. If you're wondering what's going on there, that is not an elbow foul because his elbow is still in the space of the pad itself as he rocks over. And Maxim, like I said, I got to give him credit for the resilience there against someone like Larry with his bicep strength. But beautiful awareness from Larry, patience. He doesn't rush. He actually regrips, changes the position of his elbow, which puts more rising pressure, more bicep pressure, climbing up the wrist of Maxim, which is, of course, the thing that is most critical here. This is a wrist battle right here. Maxim tries to, as Larry regrips, Maxim tries to add some bicep. He tries to fill the gap himself, but it's to no avail because the wrist is now under control. With that regrip from Larry, he adds the side pressure, finishes the job. Very, very good.
Nice job, guys.
Love it.
Awesome. Great match.
Let's see what Larry's got to say about that one. That was cool. Okay, we didn't get to hear it. Let me skip forward. I want to hear what Larry's got to say about that. If I skip forward, where are we?
Left is still good?
No, left is not good.
So right and left hand match is done. Right hand crushed, left hand. I did take the upper hand, but guys, I'm like 50 kg larger than him. And it was, when I cooked up with him, both arms felt the same. Left was maybe fresher, but they both felt equally strong. And I felt the kind of back pressure and threat in all the fundamentals of arm wrestling, side pressure, wrist rise, pronation. I just felt a threat everywhere. And I felt like I was being dominated in all those fundamentals. So I felt like I was already fighting a losing battle, to be honest. I tried to budge him and win my side of the table, get a little side pressure in, just try and make my micro adjustments to put myself in an advantage position, but he wasn't budging. I was like, the second you grip up with him, he loads. I just felt like, again, I was gripping up like with an Hermes or a Levant. It just felt like a wall. So I was really surprised at left-handed. I was able to secure a pin. I think I just have maybe the stronger bicep, but his hand and wrist is no doubt stronger, 100%. His hand control, his fundamental strength, his efficiency is that of someone with, I suppose, 8 years of experience. He is very experienced, champion arm wrestler, and I'm really curious how you and Schoolboy would go, because you're both around the same age, around the same level of experience. Granted, he has a weight advantage and he's tall, but I'm really curious how that would.
Я могу тебя напиздить. Schoolboy, давай сделаем это, давай поборемся. Я готов, а ты?
He said that he's ready. Schoolboy. He's waiting for you.
I think he's ready. I'd say he's ready.
All right, guys. So there we have it. Fantastic super matches, both left and right there from Larry and Maxim. I like that Larry worked out in the end that it was the wrist of Maxim that was the difference, not the bicep. Very, very true. And he described him as feeling like Hermes or Vitali, excuse me. And that sensation is true when someone's wrist is more dominant to you. The wrist is the first fight of an arm wrestle. The wrist rise is the fight that dictates the lane. And that feeling of your opponent being like a wall comes purely from having dominance in the wrist. When your opponent is dominant on wrist rise in particular, it's a very intimidating thing and it limits you so much on what you can do. That was the factor in the first round, on the first match on the right, where we saw ultimately the wrist become dominant from Maxim. And that really broke down Larry's ability to access his bicep. And even though he adjusted very well in getting the hook in and almost coming back and winning, he ultimately gassed out in the hand. Where on the left, where Larry was a bit more fresh, even though Maxim still had the better wrist, it wasn't dominant enough to disengage all of the other fundamental strengths that Larry has superior, being predominantly bicep strength and rotation once in that position. But outstanding arm wrestling from Larry on his performance in particular. I have to say the man is rapidly improving. He's taken significant steps forward. He's moving like an arm wrestler. He's adjusting, and he has intuition to change his game when things aren't working out now. Endurance, once upon a time, looked like a problem for Larry. It doesn't anymore. Larry is arriving, ladies and gentlemen. Very impressive stuff, Larry. Well done. Well done, Maxim. Thank you for the entertainment. Guys, please go and subscribe to Larry's channel. Awesome stuff.